Hello, this is a message to say that a brand new Super Week is now in motion, which means from Sunday the 19th of January until Saturday the 25th of January, there will be a brand new episode released every single day. For early releases, ad-free listening, and lots of other exclusive episodes, please consider becoming a super listener for approximately 75 pence a week. Details are in the description. Welcome to the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees. It's time for another very special episode on this very special Super Week, which of course is Manchester United Super Week. I hope that you've enjoyed all the episodes which have come out this week, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy this one as well, because in this episode we're going to be talking about Lisandro Martínez. Before we get into the episode on Martinez, let's do a couple of your shout-outs via your Apple Podcast reviews. And a massive shout-out and thank you to everybody who's been hitting follow and reviewing the podcast wherever you listen. This one says, great podcast. It is from MadDog1224. It says, my football mad daughter loves it. Can you do an updated Saka episode soon, please? Well, to the person who put that review in on Apple Podcasts, thank you so very much for doing so. And yes, Saka Part 2 is on my very long list, but it's pretty near the top, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. The next one is from Shorty B, and it says 5 stars. I love the Messi versus Ronaldo podcast, and I'm 9. I support Manchester United, and my favourite player is Garnacho. I loved his bicycle kick the most, and I love listening to your podcast. Well, to the person who's 9 years old and put that 5-star review in, thank you very much. However, I heard the news today that Garnacho is leaving Manchester United. He said his byes to Old Trafford, but what a player he has been. And the last one on this episode says best pod ever, and it's from Football Mad Boy. It says 5 out of 5. My name is Hudson and I play for Haverhill Town under 10s. Please do an episode on Kevin De Bruyne. Well, Hudson, let me tell you something. There already is an episode on Kevin De Bruyne. Have a search through the 250 plus episodes and I'm sure you will find it there. If you want a shout out or message, you can leave a 5-star review on the podcast, or your best bet is to head to the website, go to www.footballforkidspodcast.com and fill in the contact form on there. And you may well hear your name on the podcast in the not so distant future. Right then, now those are out of the way, let's get into this episode, shall we? On the fantastic Lisandro Martínez, or as he's called on the pitch, the Butcher. He is one of the most determined, no-nonsense defenders in the Premier League who does everything he can to win the ball at all cost. He's also a double trophy winner with United and a World Cup winner with his country of Argentina. But to find out how he's done it by the age of 26, as we record today, we need to go back to the very start. Lisandro Martínez was born on the 18th of January in 1998 in Argentina. Football for Martínez, like most kids in Argentina, became a part of his life. He played for some local teams where he lived, and it was when he was playing locally as a kid that he was noticed by one of the top Argentinian clubs called the Newell's Old Boys. You've probably heard that name on the podcast before, as it's a team linked with players like Diego Maradona, Mauricio Pochettino, and, of course, Lionel Messi. Martínez was very brave when he was younger. He moved away from his family, his friends, and his home at 14 years old to be a part of the Newell's Old Boys development squad. He knew that to make it as a footballer and to be the very best version of himself, he had to make some brave moves, and this was one of them. Martínez played football in the Argentine leagues for some time, developing and building his craft. He was becoming a very good and a very solid player very quickly. Eventually, he was noticed by Ajax, and he was brought by them for a reported €7 million. He was 14 years old when he moved from the family home and went to Newell Old Boys, but that wasn't the same country. He was now 21 years old and making his way to another continent. Martinez was aware of how good Ajax was for developing players. It's been known for years by the footballing world as a place where young players go in and come out another level to others. Lisandro Martínez would be under the watchful eye of manager Erik Ten Hag, and under Ten Hag, he became an asset to the team. He made game-saving tackles over and over again. His confidence grew, and so did the results. With Ajax, he went on to win the Dutch top division on 2 occasions. He won the KNVB Cup, which is the Dutch equivalent of the FA Cup, and at the end of his last season with the club in 2022, he was named as Ajax Player of the Year. Martinez had gone in a good player and came out an extremely good player. In July 2022, Martinez would leave Ajax to join Manchester United for a reported deal of over €40 million. Erik Ten Hag joined the club only a few months prior to this and was clearly very keen to get one of his best players at Ajax into the United squad. It didn't take him long to start impressing at Manchester United, and the United supporters quickly understood why Ajax had given him a nickname of the Butcher. Because when he was taking the ball from the opposition, he was putting in some pretty fearful tackles, and in his first full month at United, he was voted as Player of the Month. Martinez was off to a very good start indeed. Although Martinez is a defender and tends to be thought of more as a defensive player, he has scored a few decent goals while he's been with the club. Now, we need to put Martinez and Manchester United on hold for a minute, because we need to talk about Martinez and Argentina, because by this point, what he'd already achieved for his country of Argentina was quite staggering, especially at such a young age. Firstly, he'd already played for the under-20s, under-23s, and was now selected to be a part of the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar, where he played in every single match for his country and subsequently went on to win the FIFA World Cup. And in that World Cup, he made history, along with players like Lionel Messi, as it was one of the greatest and most entertaining FIFA World Cup finals ever. And before he'd even won the World Cup, he'd already won the Copa América. Martinez, by 24, had achieved a serious amount of stuff. Back to Manchester United, and like most footballers at some point in their career, he picked up an injury which sidelined him for approximately 4 months with a metatarsal injury. He came back and then he got injured yet again, giving him even more time away from the pitch. So frustrating for such a young player with so much to offer. These days, Martinez is back and rebuilding after 2 periods away from football. He's back to making many goal-saving tackles, and he's still got so much to go on and achieve, as he's still so very young. But without any doubt, I'm sure we'll be returning to the subject of Lisandro Martínez in a few years' time to do a part 2 and probably a part 3. I hope that you've enjoyed listening and learning about Lisandro Martínez, the FIFA World Cup winner, and the man who's known as the Butcher at Manchester United. So remember, if you know somebody who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about Football for Kids. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly, or pitch side, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.